week can be great, keep us in the driver's seat of our division, really just propel us the rest of the season. They've been the gold standard in our league for a very long time, so anytime you get a chance to knock off a team like that, it means a lot.
The winner of this stays in control of their destiny.
We've had our target on the back for a long time now because of the past success we've had.
I think people have been counting us out for a long time, and that disbelief feeds the fire. Keep doing it.
The two top teams in the ACC will collide under the bright lights of Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina. The 5th-ranked Tigers welcoming the 10th-ranked Wolfpack to town. Both teams undefeated. It's NC State's first conference matchup, which of course means the Atlantic Division is also on the line in this one. That game is tonight. We'll get you ready for that and literally everything else happening in college football, right? Isn't that what we do every single week? Don't you guys have something to do?
Let's go ahead and get everybody
welcome
ready.
to Countdown to College Game Day, presented by Dr. Pepper, Christine Williamson, two Harrys. This is Harry Lyles. That's Harry Douglas. They're helping the people out, right? You guys
throwing gloves,
all about the people. All about the people. We're here in Clemson, South Carolina, which I don't know if you guys know this, but I spent 2 great years here. Are you guys wearing those?
You did?
Are you guys wearing those?
I didn't know that. Who needs a hard hat?
You went to Clemson?
I did.
Fellas?
Wow.
Thank you. So it's great to be here with all of the people. When they do Clemson cheers, I will be cheering alongside them. They haven't been here since 2016. Game Day hasn't, so it's pretty hype out here. None of these people have been here before. What do you guys, how would you describe the atmosphere out here today?
I mean, this is great, right? A big crowd of people, which, you know, we always get that, but these guys are loud, right? Like, we're excited, right?
You can't hear y'all.
Yeah, we can't hear y'all. There we go.
Let's go.
They're pretty hype. They're pretty hype.
Great.
They're pretty hype. Okay, so we like to start every single show with something that we call 3 big things, because there's always a lot of big things going on in college football.
Always.
HG, you start us off with your big thing this week.
For me, it's the Kansas Jayhawks. Starting 4-0 for the first time since 2009, but for me, it's the offense and the physicality that that offense is playing with. You talk about third downs. They're second in the nation right now, completing 66% of their third downs. 8th in rushing.
Right.
You talk about 3 guys on their offense. Their quarterback, 2 running backs. Each of these guys have over 230 yards rushing, but not just that, 4 touchdowns each. The physicality of this offensive line and this run game for Kansas is the main reason why they're 4-0 right now.
That is something that I definitely didn't have on my bingo card.
And they're fun to watch.
Kansas is going to be 4-0 to start the season. It's a great time out there in Lawrence, I guess. Lyles. I almost called you HD. I guess I could call you HL. That works. What do you have for this week?
I mean, look, you know, typically, unless my school is wearing some dope uniforms, I like to stick to the game that we're at. And for me, is NC State going to rise to the occasion, right?
Okay.
All offseason, we were talking about, if they're ever going to put it together, this is supposed to be the year, right? And not even just from a skill standpoint, but also from a scheduling standpoint. This is the 1 week where you are going to get tested, where if we find out that your team is legit or not, it's going to be against Clemson, against an established team, even though they haven't looked as strong as they typically have. This is supposed to be the week. You need Devin Leary to step up. Wake Forest and Sam Hartman showed last week the way that you're going to beat them is through the air. We haven't seen that from Leary yet. There's going to be no better time than tonight. So if he does it, great. And if not, I think we're going to be talking about Clemson finally being back.
I was going to say, obviously, I mean, we're here in Clemson. I was actually mad that Harry chose this game for his big thing, because I was like, obviously, I'm talking about Clemson when it comes to my big thing. But I want to go on the Clemson side and just some of the conversations that we had, that I've had over the past couple of days, right? Here, this is the 127th season. Now, this is just like a superstitious thing. So Taj Boyd, I talked to him yesterday.
So actually, before, can I get a 30 HD?
Yeah. So we all know Christine went to Clemson, and her infatuation with Clemson is unbelievable. So our lovely producers prepared a video along with me and Harry. So I want the crowd, I want the viewers to be able to see this video.
To freak out.
Check this video out right now, y'all.
Breaking news.
Here's something that you guys might not know. Clemson
Here she goes. Here she goes.
I went to Clemson for grad school. I went to Clemson in grad school. I told you I went to Clemson for grad school, and you were like, why don't you talk about Clemson? Oh, I would like you guys to know, I also am an ACC alum. I went to both Miami and Clemson. What are we right now?
She attended.
The two teams that I root for starting off their season season super strong. Obviously, we're here for Clemson. We have our Clemson connection. I went there for grad school, right? Went to Clemson for grad school.
Don't worry, if Christine runs out of winning team, she'll just rip another one.
I went to Clemson too. You don't know this about me, but I went to Clemson for grad school. I went to Clemson. Trevor, I'm just gonna be honest. I love you.
Good Lord, I can't handle this.
Leave me alone.
I think Will Shipley, to me, is the key to that.
Trevor, I love you.
What you think?
Couldn't even help it.
T-Law, Sunshine. Why wouldn't I love him?
Sunshine is balling right now.
Exactly. Have you watched what the Jags are doing this season? We're a fan. We stand. I'm not saying anything else. Whatever. Go Tigers.
Christine went to Clemson.
That's right.
In case it wasn't clear.
Thank you. It's great to be back. It's great to be back. Okay? It's great to be back. I haven't been back here since 2015, so it's been a minute. Okay, let's just go to our next thing because that was embarrassing. I honestly thought that they were going to show my reel, and that would have been even more embarrassing. So I'm glad that it was just me talking about Clemson and not showing my Clemson reel, which was actually embarrassing. Okay, so every single week we do a Fantasy Eliminator challenge where everybody that's on the college football space and digital picks a player. I would just like everybody to look at this right now because the last name Williamson, first name Christine is in first place. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm the only woman in all of that. Just wanna recognize that week 5 we're at number 1.
That's amazing. So Christine, all the picks are in, and once you have your pick, you cannot change anything.
Shut up.
So who did you pick this week?
I chose Hendon Hooker.
You chose Hendon Hooker. Who does Tennessee play this week? They don't play anyone. They're idle. So you are going to get 0 points for this week. So you will not be in first place after this week,
it was a last-minute question. Literally, our producer texted me and Harry Lyles last night, and I was like, who played well last week?
Okay, but I picked somebody that's playing this week. My man Malik Cunningham. You know what I mean?
Who did you guys choose?
I picked Malik Cunningham.
I got Caleb Williams from USC.
Who chose? I thought you chose Michael Penix Jr.
No.
Who did?
Scooby.
Okay. All right, I'm glad that we got his picture on there. Okay, so anyways, let's talk about what we're going to talk about in the show this week. I'm dead. Okay, we talked to Jacoby Ford and Dwayne Allen. I literally hate everybody. And Dwayne Allen, they're both getting inducted into Clemson Athletic Hall of Fame this week. So I got to hang out with them, talk about their impact on Clemson's football team, etc. And if you're a Tennessee, Penn State, Washington, or Kansas fan, the season started bleak, but now there is hope. We're going to break down the new expectations. I'm literally dead. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about a little trouble ahead because both Michigan and Alabama are double-digit road favorites today. But Chris Felica actually pointed out earlier this week that both might be in trouble because it's well known that Iowa's Kinnick Stadium, it has been, as Jim Harbaugh has said, where top 5 teams go to die. And he's not wrong. So take a look at this really fast, this graphic. So just
also
one of the last, what?
So that's also extreme, but yes, proceed.
Yeah, they go to die. That's exactly what happened. Just one of the last 6 top 5 teams to visit Kinnick has walked out a winner. So how does Bama fit into this? Well, despite being an average of 18.5 favorites, Alabama has won just one of its last 5 road games by more than a field goal, and 2 of those wins, Texas and Auburn. It took a last-minute score. I'm sorry. I'm still dead. Okay. So I'm going to start with the HD. Which team?
Christine, you should.
Which team has a greater risk of upset?
I'm gonna go with Alabama with the simple fact that we did the Alabama-Texas game. We've seen how shaky they look against Texas. That secondary, Texas was able to throw the ball up and down the football field. Bijan Robinson had a good day. When I look at this Arkansas team and KJ Jefferson coming off a disappointing loss to Texas A&M, I just think Alabama has an opportunity to lose today. But the thing about Arkansas, I want to see them. Last year around this same time, they lost 3 games in a row after losing to Georgia. After that loss last week, can they have a better showing? Can they beat Alabama and not have, well, I say, do better facing adversity this year more so than they did a year ago?
And if they lose, can they not make this a whole entire thing for the rest of their season? Do you agree?
Yeah, totally. But I also look at this Michigan-Iowa game. That's a trap game. Like Iowa, even in the years that they are not good, like this year, right? We keep talking about beat Iowa, touchdown, and field goal, and 2 safeties. That defense is still good. When you have to play them at their house, they can can give you problems. This is still a top 5 defense in the country. This is one of those goofy games that Michigan tends to lose sometimes. There's just something about it, you know, and we've seen Michigan be kind of up and down, and even they really haven't played great competition. I think they've played like 3 of arguably the 15 worst teams in FBS. So to me, this is the type of game that could get them. Absolutely.
And for Michigan, you have to understand, listen, first you're Michigan. You're going to be bigger, faster, stronger than Iowa. The reason why Iowa's been able to beat a lot of these teams the last few years is because turning the football over. J.J. McCarthy, he's going to have to protect the football and not give them anything to lean on. And don't keep this game close in the fourth quarter. That's what they've been able to do over the years, is keep it close and then beat these teams.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about Michigan. J.J. McCarthy getting his first start, and he's starting against a top 4 defense, or the 4th defense in the country. So what is he going to have to do in order for his team to come out as a winner?
I'll say protect the football. Make the plays that you're supposed to make. You're special. You're the starting quarterback for Michigan for a reason. Your head coach, Jim Harbaugh, went with you for a reason. Be special today, but that run game, I'm looking for that run game of Michigan, and J.J. McCarthy is a part of that. That run game has to be good because we do know that Iowa defense is stout.
It really is about the turnovers. You have to protect the football because Iowa's not going to kill you offensively. But if you put them in good field position, they will take advantage of those every once in a while and do enough defensively to keep themselves in the game.
Okay, let's talk about Alabama a little bit because they have Texas A&M next week at home where they've been dominant. But on the road, as you mentioned, HD, we were at Texas when they were on the road against them. They haven't been as dominant. Do you think road Alabama is an actual thing?
It depends on who it is. People inside the Alabama program don't think so. Us on the outside, we do believe so. But history, tells us different. And every time Alabama goes on the road, whoever they play, regardless, road or home, teams are going to try to give them their best fitting that day. And on the road, it's even better. You got the home team have their crowd, the fans making noise. So, and I'm looking at this game today in Arkansas. We got to remember, this was a shootout last year. Bryce Young threw for 559 yards and 5 touchdowns and set the Alabama school record for a single game. But he doesn't have Jamison Williams. He doesn't have John Mitchell III. But then on the flip side, KJ Jefferson doesn't have Traylon Burke. So Landers and Hazelwood, those guys are going to have to be phenomenal today to back him up.
Yes, and to your point about them getting everybody's best game, when you go on the road into those environments, those crowds are different. I mean, we were there last week at Tennessee, and that place was crazy.
Wild.
I mean, just absolutely overbearing in a way that most teams just aren't going to experience. So when you're Alabama, that is magnified 2, 3, 4, 5 times depending on where you're at. And we know it's going to be different at Arkansas because that fan base is crazy.
But they don't want to, of course, drink the rat poison? Do you eat rat poison or do you drink rat poison?
I think it's preference, right?
Okay.
Are you smashing it up and stirring it up in water?
I don't know. Okay, anyways, as you know, I'm from Clemson. I'm not from Clemson. I just said I was from Clemson. I spent a lot of time in Clemson, Alabama. So I said Clemson, Alabama. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so I spent some time with some guys I'm being told to bring on Desmond Howard, who's nowhere around here. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure how I'm supposed to do that. So
has anybody seen Des?
Anyways, as I mentioned, Jacoby Ford and Dwayne Allen spent some time with me. Check this out. Hey guys, Christine Williamson here at Clemson's football facility, and obviously there's been a lot of success on the football field. Dwayne Allen and Jacoby Ford are getting inducted into the Clemson Athletic Hall of Fame, so we are going to go hang out with them.
End around here for Jacoby Ford to the end zone, touchdown Clemson.
What's it like to be getting that kind of recognition as you come back on campus?
It's been good for me. It's been something that I definitely feel like I definitely put the work in to, be as accomplished as I could be while I was here at Clemson University.
It's an opportunity for me to highlight all of those individuals that played a part in my athletic success here at Clemson, my personal development, and so this weekend I get to recognize those people.
Just the phone call just started off different. He said, hey, I'm actually calling to not interview you this time. And when he said that, I started getting like the chills a little bit. And I'm like, all right, what are you about to say? And then when he went ahead and told me, I just kind of lost it on the phone for a little bit. And it was just like a dream come true.
And goal as a touchdown pass to Dwayne Allen.
So when you look at what Clemson has done since you've left, what do you think?
Incredible. It's been incredible to, of course, watch.
The level of play that they do now, I think they're way better than what we were.
When you think about the future of Clemson football, where do you think it's going?
Where do we go? Where do we go? That's a tough question, especially in today's landscape, right? With NIL, transfer portal. I understand and know and trust that Coach Sweeney and his coach staff is going to figure out and have a solution in place, which they already do.
And the bar is set high. So when Clemson doesn't meet expectations and the world is a little salty about it, it makes you might get annoyed with it a little bit, but it should make you feel good. Like that's what they think of my college now. It's my alma mater. Yeah, we're big dogs, you know. So that's how I feel. You know, we're like a Bama, we're like a Georgia.
Right.
So that's how I feel like that's the level of play we're on, and that's where it just needs to be staying. That's it.
All right, it's time now to look at who has the Fansville Advantage presented by Dr. Pepper, and we're going to look to next week. Lyles, I mean, I know what the game is, but I want you to tell the people.
Texas A&M, Alabama.
Right.
Easy. I mean, this is we've been talking about this all off season, right? Like usually the college football off season is radio silent. We don't get anything like the Jimbo Saban rivalry and all that smack talk. And I know they've said, hey, we put it behind us, this, that, and the other. Hey, man, they haven't put that behind them. That Alabama crowd is going to be so loud, wanting revenge for not just last year's game, but for all that smack talk. Because you guys know how college football fans are, man. They take that stuff personally. That crowd is going to be insane.
Well, for me, it's the same game. Texas A&M going to Alabama. You look at how Texas A&M won that game last year, blitzing Bryce Young, not being able to find his receivers and get a win. But then, you know, Nick Saban versus Jimbo Fisher. I'm done with him. I'm done with him.
Yeah.
I'm done.
We love the drama. We love the drama.
So that ammunition for both teams, they're going to be feeling some type of way. So I'm looking forward to this match.
It's going to be a good one. I can't wait for that one. Also, Dr. Pepper is making college dreams come true with the 2022 Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway. Visit drpeppertuition.com to learn how to enter. And now we welcome in the one, the only Desmond Howard. I mean, y'all didn't see this, but we were gassing him a little bit because
look at the footwork.
You can't see the kicks. Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Look at the
Are those leather?
Hey,
Are those leather kicks?
I was expecting rain, so I wanted to wear some shoes I can get wet.
Right, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But I'm glad you guys like them, you know what I mean?
You look clean.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very
We love
much.
that. We love that. Elevating our show just a little bit. Okay, so
just a little bit. What's up?
I mean, I don't want to put us down. You know, we can't put ourselves down.
Fair.
All right, let's talk some matchups. We got the 7th-ranked Kentucky taking on Ole Miss. That's at 12 p.m. on ESPN.
Yes,
So,
yes.
2 of 5 undefeated teams in the SEC. Ole Miss is almost a full touchdown favorite in this one. Are you at all surprised by that?
I think that's a lot of points for Ole Miss because we're still learning about Ole Miss and what they're bringing to the gridiron. I mean, they really haven't been tested so far this season, and we know that Kentucky's played very well. Will Levis is one of the best quarterbacks in the nation.
Right.
They travel well. Obviously, they went down to the swamp and they handled the Gators down there. So we know that Kentucky will travel. Plus, they get Chris Rodriguez back today. Their running back, their star running back, which is going to help their offense and Will Levis tremendously. So I think 7 points are a lot of points. It should be a really interesting game. And you got contrasting styles, too, because Ole Miss, they want to go fast. And Kentucky's going to slow it down. They're going to do things methodically. So it's going to be a good game.
Okay.
Now, obviously, in the SEC, we kind of view Alabama and Georgia as 1A, 1B, depending on who you ask. Do you think the winner of this game could kind of take the crown for that third team?
You know, I'm hopeful because I want to see someone compete with Alabama, with Georgia, and I think that Kentucky's a team that can do it. You know, coming to the season, no one gave them any credit. No one really looked at Kentucky. So I love it when a team comes into the season and they start to earn their respect by what they do on the gridiron. And that's what Kentucky's about. You look at Mark Stoops and the job he's done right there with that team. Offensively, defensively, you know, they're very consistent. They don't beat themselves. They know who they are. I like Dane Key as a freshman wide receiver. Had a monster game on the road against Florida when they needed him the most. Because, like I said, they're getting Rodriguez back. My man Levis has been playing like without 2 or 3 of his starting running backs every week, but they found a way to get it done.
From my standpoint, is I've been surprised with Ole Miss because I'm used to seeing a Lane Kiffin offense just air it out, throw it all over the football field. The run game is what has been working for them. They have 2 games where they ran over 300 yards. Do you think they can be able to do that today versus a Kentucky defense?
I tell you what, you know, Kentucky's defense is coming without their leader, J.J. Weaver. J.J. Weaver's out, and he's a very disruptive force. Led the team in sacks and TFL, so being without him this Ole Miss offense, especially going up against that rushing attack. But, I spoke to a coach last night for Kentucky. He said, hey, man, next man up.
That's right. You better believe it. That's right.
That's how it's got to be.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go over to the Big 12. We got Oklahoma State taking on Baylor. Now, these two teams were in the Big 12 championship last season.
Exactly.
And Oklahoma State, there were conversations about whether or not they were actually going to make it to the CFP, whether if they won that matchup.
Right.
Are people sleeping on Oklahoma State?
I think they are. People have a tendency to sleep on the Big 12 in general. And I think Oklahoma State's the team right now averaging over 50 points a game. And the key is Spencer Sanders. I mean, he's playing at a high level, and he's not turning the ball over. Last season, he was a turnover machine, especially in the Big 12 championship game. So that's key. He's a game when you don't turn the ball over, you give yourself an opportunity to win games. That's what they've been doing. And don't forget, if you guys haven't noticed or you haven't heard, their defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, is now in Columbus with Ohio State. Just in case you haven't heard that in the last 4 or 5 weeks. But they got my man Derek Mason, who's a really brilliant coach, brilliant play caller, excellent defensive coordinator. So Derek said, listen, I didn't want to change the defense, so he came in, they deconstructed the defense, when they built it back up so then he would be familiar with it. So it's the same terminology, pretty much the same scheme. But any coach that's worth his weight in salt is going to put his thumbprint on anything he's taken over. So at some point, they're going to be tested, and you're going to see Derek Mason's defense rise to the top.
Yeah, when you look at the Baylor Bears, their head coach, Dave Aranda, who's a defensive guy. You mentioned Spencer Sanders and how he's been able to be that guy for Oklahoma State. Yeah. What must they do defensively, the Baylor Bears, to stop Spencer Sanders from winning the game today?
Man, I tell you what, man, I have so much respect for Coach Aranda, man. He's like a Zen master, man. He's such a cerebral coach, and I enjoy talking to him. And he's the guy who he's going to take away your strength. He's going to make them have to earn every yard. What you want to do with a guy like Spencer Sanders is you want to make him earn every yard. Make him sustain drives, 12-play drives, 14-play drives, in hopes that he'll revert back to what he did last year and make a mistake, turn the ball over. So make sure that they earn them. Don't give up the big plays. And I think that's going to be their defensive philosophy going up against Spencer Sanders today.
How old is Spencer Sanders? I feel like we've been talking about him for 44 years.
He's the Kenny Pickett of this year.
It's like Spencer Sanders and Sean Clifford. Like, how many years
Sean Clifford.
The quarterback, exactly. I'm with you.
Okay, let's talk about this matchup. We have number 10 NC State coming here to Clemson to take on the 5th-ranked Tigers. This is the first time that these teams have matched up as top 10 teams, which is wild to think about. So who do you think is the most important player in this matchup?
Well, listen, I don't know if you guys saw Clemson play against Wake Forest last week, but that game quickly turned into a 7-on-7 matchup.
Right. Yes, it did.
And Wake Forest was getting the best of them. I have no idea how Wake lost that game. Listen, bro, you play receiver, you tell the coach, why are we running the ball? Like, listen, we're going to throw the ball, and either we're going to get a touchdown or we're going to get a PI. That's all we're getting out there today. Why are we running the ball? I have no idea why Wake ran the ball. I mean, because their Clemson's secondary was getting toasted. They were getting fried. So today, if I'm North Carolina State, I'm like, man, I'm looking at these dudes and say, listen, we got to test that secondary. And of course, the flip side is DJ. He had a monster game. He had the game that we were hoping for all season long. Hopefully, he can build off of that game and come out here in front of his home crowd and have another monster game tonight in the big ACC matchup against NC State.
A lot of people are saying, I talked to Taj Boyd yesterday about DJ, and he said he feels like he's finally coming into his own and what he's seen in practice. What are you laughing at, HD?
Because you talked to Taj Boyd. You're a Clemson person.
Wait, you know Taj Boyd?
Des, they like to make fun of me because I went to grad school here, and I talk about it on a regular basis, okay? It's perfectly fine. Des, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Anyways, you can watch Des on College Game Day. And what else you can see on College Game Day at 10 a.m., head coach of the Tigers, my guy, Dabo Sweeney, joins the show live ahead of the Tigers' big game on ABC. TV tonight. It's ridiculous. Also at 10:30 a.m., picked to finish last again in the Big 12. The Jayhawks and their second-year coach are surprising literally everyone.
Literally?
Except not literally, because they're not surprising themselves. Then at 11 a.m., for the last 18 months, every time Clemson All-American defensive tackle Brian Breesy took the field, he was playing for his younger sister, Ella. Jen Latta shares the remarkable story of Brian and his sister. And then at 11:15 a.m., Kentucky head coach Mark Stoops joins the show ahead of his team's matchup against Ole Miss today at noon on ESPN. Y'all good?
Yeah.
You good, HG?
Chilling?
Yes. You're sweating. It's not hot.
I'm literally the coolest I've been the entire show.
Your head is literally glistening. It is.
I mean, that's just because the brother's hot. You know what I mean?
Okay. I accidentally said that earlier today. I was like, you're obviously hot. And then it didn't sound quite right. Okay, so let's talk about some revised expectations because it's October 1st today. That means we've gotten 1 month of college football, which is amazing, right?
Yep.
We were at Tennessee last week. Tennessee last season were 7-6. They started this year unranked, and now they're number 8. So I'm going to start with you, HG. How does your expectations change for Tennessee so far?
I would say looking at their schedule, because they're idle this week, obviously, because you pick Hendon Hooker.
Shut up.
But then they play LSU. Within a 5-week span, they play LSU, Kentucky, Georgia, and Alabama. So for Tennessee fans, it's good to enjoy it right now because it's about to get real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, let's say best case scenario, they come out with just 1 loss from that group. I think you got to feel pretty good about your team.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
I mean, like, that is a ridiculous schedule no matter who you are. And if this is going to be, like we talked about it last week, if this is going to be the year that they finally get back to being the Tennessee that we all knew growing up, you got to come out of that schedule, get out of that slate with no more than 1 loss. So we'll see if they're able to do it.
And I love what Josh Heupel's done with this program.
It's been great.
He's been phenomenal for those guys, changing the culture.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about Penn State. They also had a 7-6 season last season. Now they're ranked number 11th. We'll find a little bit more about Penn State as the season goes on. Obviously, they haven't really been tested just yet. But what do you think the ceiling is for Penn State?
The same thing with Tennessee. They still have to play Ohio State and Michigan.
Right.
So when it comes to Penn State, you're like, oh, man, can we win both of those games? Can we win one of them? But I love their freshman running back, Nicholas Singleton. What he's been able to do. Sean Clifford is stepping up. Joey Porter Jr. on the defensive side. When you get those second, career guys or second bloodline type guys playing on teams, GMs and head coaches and owners of NFL teams, they love those type of guys. But for Penn State, I think it stops when Ohio State and Michigan plays.
Hey, bro, your joints hurt. You hear that? Joey Porter Jr. Hey, man, I mean, look, for me, Penn State, it's hard for me to feel like they're going to be better than third.
Right.
And that's nothing against them. It's just Ohio State and Michigan are different. And, I mean, obviously, Ohio State's different than everybody, but I don't trust Sean Clifford enough to get them to where they're going to surpass those 2 teams. Right. So, to me, I mean, Penn State they're going to be Penn State.
All right, this is going to be a kind of weird one to talk about because I feel like we never talk about Syracuse when it comes to the football field. 4-0 this season, 2-0 in ACC. They also, this is the thing that's going to be tough for them. The next 6 games that they play, 5 ranked teams and then Notre Dame. So how you feeling about Syracuse?
The thing I like about Syracuse is that they have a dynamic duo with their quarterback and their running back.
Right.
You talk about Sean Tucker, who was phenomenal last year. He's been phenomenal this year. But Schrader, their quarterback, has been playing a great brand of football. But I think it's going to end as well. You look at their schedule and who they have. They have Clemson, they have Pitt, Florida State, Wake Forest. Wake Forest puts up points.
Yeah.
Like, they can't stop anybody, but they put up points. Can Syracuse be able to put up more points than them? But then I love Florida State and what Jordan Travis has been able to do. So I think it's going to end for them as well.
I mean, hey, to me,
the way you said that, I think it's going to end.
As long as Sean Tucker keeps doing his thing, they might not win a lot of those games, but they'll be in them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you can run the football, that's half the battle.
Yeah.
And defensively, they'll do enough in some of those games, but as long as they're able to continue to run the football, I think they're good.
All right, let's talk about another team that we've already talked about. We never talk about this team when it comes to college football, unless we're talking about the fact that they're at the bottom of the Big 12. But now Kansas, right at this moment, is at the top of the Big 12. Are we going to see a ranked Kansas team next week?
It depends on today. They have Iowa State.
Yeah.
And what Matt Campbell's been able to do there at Iowa State over the years, staying in Iowa State, not going to other college programs, not going to the NFL, it's going to be tough for them today. But the brand of football that they play, which is physicality, winning the offensive defensive line, I believe that they can get a win today, and they're going to be ranked next week.
And that offense is so fun. It honestly feels disrespectful that they were not ranked this week. I think it's got to happen next week.
Here's something that got lost about Kansas. Their quarterback, Jalen Johnson, 71%, complete 71% of his passes.
I am going to get 0 points this week, and I can't stop thinking about it. I literally hate everybody. Thank you guys, though, for watching. Nobody wants to ever help me out, okay? Nobody wants to ever help me out. It feels a little, I don't know. They're just jealous. It's fine. Thank you for watching. Countdown to College Game Day presented by Dr. Pepper. What?
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Clemson for grad school. Go Tigers.
Someone went to grad school.
See you next week. Clemson. I feel like I should wear orange to the game tonight, no?
Oh, my God.
Should I?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Bye, guys. We'll see you next week.